Slavin crosses pass, one-timer rebound, Scully scores! The captain in front, great puck movement. Pass it, out front, shot, he scores! Sebastian! Rebound, they score! Svechnikov!
Hey, what is going on, everyone? And welcome back to another episode of the SurgeCast, Season 3, Episode 21. But more importantly, it's the 100th episode of the podcast.
Yeah!
We made it.
We're here, guys.
We are presented by Primo X Hockey, DraftKings, Raycon, and we are a part of the Hockey Podcast Network. I'm Zach Martin.
I'm Bailey Curtis.
I'm Kat Hunter.
And yes, we have finally made it 100 episodes of whatever this is that you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it, it is just amazing. We finally made it to here to episode 100. It's crazy to think they're going from, February 2022 to now it's like November of 23. We just hit 100 episodes. It's what a ride. What a ride it's been on.
Crazy situations. I'm surprised we've been able to deal with each other for this long.
Certain different increments of hosts coming on. You know, Billy, you came on right at the tail end of season 1, started season 2. Kat came in halfway through season 2. The guest list, big thing. We have to say big thank you to Jules for all the graphics, the videos, all the hype stuff she's done for us. For the fact that one graphic with all of our guests that were up to date at that time.
Yep.
And you look at that list, you're like, oh my gosh, it is such a wild list. Like you go from, you start the whole thing off with Brad Moore of the Storm Cellar. Then you go down to Matt Soma. Then you scroll down and you see like Wade Minter, Walt Ruff multiple times. And you get Mike Maniscalco multiple times. And, you got King Statbrand. You got Colin Madewell. Colin with the single L, Jules,
all the Collins,
Sam Wismer, Andrew Rinaldi, Elaine Shercliffe.
My dad made his appearances on the podcast.
Yep, he's made.
We wouldn't be here with all those guests. That was honestly.
Oh, Dan LaTaraka.
Big thank you to everyone that's listened. Big thank you to everyone that's been willing to be a guest on here and put up with our shenanigans. We appreciate you all.
Yes, big thank you to everyone, and it's funny because the last time we had Walt Ruff on, he was helping us, get the people like ready for episode 100 because of all the teasers we dropped, and Walt Ruff said you have to go big for episode 100, and I will say this: we went big for episode 100.
We went big,
and the fact too is, we had to sit on this for so long is absolutely insane because to give full transparency, guys, like we did record this right around training camp before the season started. So,
you'll be able to tell by how we're talking about it.
Right. Exactly. So I know everyone really want us to ask certain questions or, mention certain things to them. Unfortunately, we had to talk to him more before the season started just because with the scheduling and all that stuff and trying to get him on today because when this does drop on Sunday, this is when we're recording. So
we're coming home from a back-to-back. There's no way we would have gotten it.
Right.
Yeah, no. And it just worked out to where, like I said, it was during training camp right before, like I think right around preseason too, Jordan, it's just everything that was going on. But for the fact that,
as hockey fans, we know how crazy things during the season get. So like this was really our only option.
Yeah, and also pretty much if you haven't guessed it from all of our hints and then our announcement, we got the Marty party himself.
That we did.
The story of how we got him too is actually the best part.
We've mentioned it more times than Zach especially would like to count, but
yeah, it's
fortunately, we finally got an outlet to him, and he was more than willing, after all the disrespect, to come on.
I mean,
and chat with
honestly,
us,
the stories where you can look back at and laugh at yourself make up for the best stories, and then it led to the best conversation. So,
It really.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it really did. It's surprising how life happens that way.
Mm-hmm.
Just say, hey, I'm just going to tweet a lineup out, day of exit interviews in the middle of summer on 5 hours of sleep, no coffee, get a DM from a player. And then, a couple months later, hey, you want to come on for episode 100 of our podcast? And somehow it works out. It's just funny life how it works that way. But
we don't recommending offending players first.
No, we don't. We don't.
No.
Well, it wasn't trying to be offensive. It is what it is. But yeah, please don't do that. Please don't do that, because apparently they do read your tweets. So keep that in mind.
That they do.
But no, big shout out to Marty for coming on and talking to us. We got him for about 15-20 minutes. It's not super duper long, but just for the fact that we got him for as long as we did was absolutely fantastic. Great stories that we jumped into it as well. And you guys will, especially the Fancy Duck Boys and Moose, will love the very end of our conversation right before we dipped out with Marty. Yes. They will definitely enjoy this. So I hope everyone loves our interview with Marty. So we do have a lot of stuff to talk about. But before we get into all that and talk about everything that's going on in the last week with the Hurricanes, we're not going to make you guys wait. We're going to
without
jump
further
right
ado,
yes.
Mr. Martinook.
Woo!
Hey everyone, we are very, very excited to bring on our special guest for the 100th episode of the SurgeCast. You may know him. He is very well known for screaming at Andrei Svechnikov in the hallway. He also tied Bates Battaglia and Corey Stillman for most points in a playoff series. He has his own official beer. He threw out the first pitch at the Durham Bulls game on Canes night, and he's just he's also a part-time lead singer for Nickelback and all that good stuff. But we are very, very excited to bring on Jordan Martinook to the podcast. Jordan, how are you doing tonight?
Good. Yeah, good. Just taking some time before I head out for the evening walk with the family.
Nice.
So it seems like you've had a really, since the start of September, you've had a busy month, just a lot going on. How's it been for you just the whirlwind that was the month of September for you?
Yeah, well, I guess when I book myself pretty heavy. So as we were leaving, coming back to Carolina, we put our house in Canada on the market. So we moved all our stuff out of our house up there. So we did a full move up there, obviously came back to our house here, which is set up, but then got back to Raleigh. I think I was home for a day. We did the Durham Bulls game throughout the first pitch. Then my wife and my kids went to the beach for 2 days, then got back. And then the next weekend was the Marty party. I think Nickelback was the Thursday. And then I had the weekend after that, I do a MC a charity event. So I did that. So September was busy, and then obviously the start of training camp, and then I was just hoping to get to training camp because I knew it calmed down once we start going.
Please get me to the beginning of the season.
Yeah, so it was. I booked myself pretty heavy, but it was all fun stuff.
No, for sure. It's how was it for you for the Durham Bulls? Because I know everyone watched the video of you talking to the media and the social media group and stuff like that, and how a big thing it was for you. What was that experience like going into doing batting practice and doing the first pitch and stuff?
Yeah, well, I was lucky enough to do batting practice last year. We did it off the pitching machine, which was a little easier. The manager throws heat, so it was pretty
wow.
connect to one. But then it's just I remember when I got drafted in Arizona. The first rounder always got to throw out the first pitch. We'd always go to the Diamondbacks games, and I was so envious of him for being able to do that. And I was like, oh, I just hope one day I can get to a point where I can throw out the first pitch at something. And then I think I was scheduled to do it 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and then I got I was driving back down. I didn't make it in time. And then, it was just, I've just been trying to do this for so long. And then when it came out and I was like, okay, I'm going to be back on the Thursday. I can make it for the Saturday or the Friday. I'm like, I'm going to make it happen. So,
Nice.
I'm very happy that I got to do that.
That's
do you
awesome.
do you get to make it to many Bulls games just in general?
Usually I try and go to 2 or 3 a year. I obviously try and go to the Canes one every year, and then take my son kind of whenever I can get a chance. He lasts about 5 innings, but I love that. The ballpark is just so cool, and
Oh yeah.
they're usually a really good team too, so it's fun to watch.
No, for sure.
Can you? I don't know. Well, I don't know if you can tell us. Can you tell us which of your teammates was the worst at the Bulls with the batting?
Who was all there?
They're all pretty athletic, so I'm giving them. They're probably all pretty good, but
There's a little bit of grace there, maybe.
Yeah. I don't think Jarvie did very good. I'm pretty sure.
It's a shame he had the good luck mullet too, and everything.
Yeah, he wasn't very good, but that's standard.
Oh my goodness.
At least he had the action picture. You might not see if the ball got hit, but he got the action picture.
Yeah, no, he looked good. He had the sunglasses on too. He was looking good.
So I'd love to hear more about your Marty Party lager. That was like a huge thing for you this season too. How was the launch? How did everything go?
Yeah, it went well. The reviews of the beer were great. Everybody seemed to like it. It was easy drinking. I wish the day we had the one bad day in September that for I guess the launch of it. So if it was hotter out, it probably would have went down even smoother. But everybody enjoyed it. Raised $3,000 for the charity that I'm a part of, and some fans got to put me in a dunk tank, which that was its own.
You seem really excited about.
That was its own. It was
So
cold. It was
great.
kind of cold that day, and that's coming from a Canadian. It was, I think, only like 68 degrees. It was a little chilly. So, and then it was a good night. Just to kick off the season, I guess the fans hadn't really been around anybody, so I felt like they were pretty happy with me doing something like that, and obviously having the charitable aspect of it, and just kind of being able to launch my own beer, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right?
And,
For real.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a big success. So maybe more in the future. Who knows?
That's awesome.
Hey.
How did it all come about? Like, did they approach you? Did you approach them? Like, how did that all just come about?
Yeah,
Creating your own beer?
one of our old team services people, Pace, was kind of Mike Sunheim's right hand man. He now works for UNC, and he's like, I think there's obviously stuff out there that the fans would be excited about and we could get going. And he's like, what would you be interested in doing an event with bowstring? And I'm like, yeah, I'll go drink beer with people. That's not hard.
Right, yeah.
And then he was kind of the spearheaded it, and got set up with bowstring, and then R&D kind of caught wind of it, and they're like, well, let's do an official beer for the event. And it was I don't think it was super hard for them, because it was kind of similar to the Mexican lager, just with a little bit of lime in it. And it worked out great. So happy
since it's
about
with R&D, is it going to be available at Kings games?
It's not as of yet, but we had the season ticket member event the other night, and a lot of people were talking about it, and I said, just email R&D. Let's get this thing into PNC.
Supply and demand.
That would be cool. Like, if we could do say I got a goal or something, we do like half off Marty parties or something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that would be
yeah.
It'd be a cool way to like market some of it, and who knows?
Oh yeah, man, Marty, you would be making so many people happy with that, because they're already like,
I'm gonna say, where's Dan when you need him?
If they got that, we'll just have to be like, Dan, can you get some Marty party in there?
Yeah,
you would be all the fans.
Awesome.
That place
I'm
would
pretty
be
sure
even louder.
I have another appearance I have to do with R&D, so I'm gonna push it pretty hard, but we'll see what we can get going there.
No,
Nice.
for sure, definitely. Oh my goodness, that'd be
That-
great.
That's we would I look forward to that. I know a lot of my friends, they couldn't make it out to the Marty party, but Canescapes, they would eat that up. They would be so excited.
I just want to get them down here to South Carolina because unfortunately we get no R&D stuff. So I'm like, all right, how am I going to get this beer down here? Because I got to try it. So
well, right now it's only at Bowstring, so it's a limited release. You got to go to Bowstring.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
You'll have to help a sister out then.
Yeah, help us out, Kat.
Yes, guys, I'll help you out. I'll get some and I'll share the wealth. We can't talk. So we've talked about again, you've done so much. You did the Bulls game, you had the Marty party, but I think the thing that's on everyone's mind right now is your Nickelback performance.
You seemed a little starstruck up there, yeah.
Yeah, that was I next to like my kids being born, my wedding, my first NHL game, like that's up there with being like one of the cooler moments of my life. So I'm like speechless. Even just thinking back on it was so much fun. And I think there was like 13 or 14 guys there too. And we had a party bus that took us, and it was just like the best night ever. And I kind of tried to keep it a secret, but then the word kind of got out with all the guys, and then they're like, when are you going? And then I got like super nervous when it was about to happen. And then they said,
I can't imagine you're nervous. I can't imagine you're nervous.
When you're looking up at Walnut Creek and there's like 18,000 cell phone lights looking down at you. And I was like, okay, there's definitely a lot of people here.
Right, yeah.
And I met Garth Brooks probably 8 years ago now, and I was like, how do you like he was doing 2 shows a night, and he would do like 8 shows in a 3-day span or 4-day span. And I was like, how do you get excited to do like that many shows? And he's like, well, think about, you're playing hockey, there's 18 or 19,000 people cheering for your team. Think about all those people just cheering for you. And then like that kind of hit me as I was going up to sing. I was like, okay, I'm kind of going to be on an island up here, and they're all going to either, I knew like, even if I sucked, and I probably did suck, but people would just appreciate having the kahunas to go up there and sing in front of that many people.
How did that opportunity come about?
So I went on Missing Curfew, the podcast, and they kind of hooked me up with Chad's, the lead singer's number. And then he got me tickets for the Edmonton show in June. And then gave me like all access passes. So we got to go to the kind of after party at the arena. And then I met the band manager, and they did a radio show in Edmonton to sing Rockstar in Edmonton. And when I was talking to the band manager, I was like, when you guys come to Raleigh, I want to do that. And he's like, yeah, we can make that happen.
That's so cool.
His one request though, he wanted to wear the Stormy costume and 2 t-shirts out of
oh my
Stormy
gosh
mascot. But
that would have been amazing.
Stormy's a pretty big figure around the Hurricanes, and they didn't allow that, but luckily I still got to sing.
That would have been absolutely wild.
I was a little jealous. I had tickets to that show and I was sick, so I couldn't, but my friends were there, and they were sending me nonstop pictures and stuff. They said the boys there, they could hear them cheering for you when you were coming up. And our media kind of graphic designer, Jules, was there. And she actually, at the season ticket number, she gave you, I think, a picture of you up on the stage.
Yeah, I got the picture. It's cool.
Yeah, so she was telling me you were killing it. So you, I know you say you're starstruck and like it was kind of nerve wracking. Was it more so even than like the stadium series? Because I mean, that's a lot to people looking at you too. That was going to be my
next question.
Yeah, but it's like I'm doing what I'm pretty good at. Like I'm supposed to be good at hockey. Like I'm not a good singer. So I think when you're doing something that you're meant to be good at, it just kind of is easier or flows better. I don't know. It's obviously like I've been playing hockey in front of a lot of people for a long time. So it's just kind of like, I'm not going to say you get used to it, but it's just part of it. And definitely I've done karaoke in front of 50 people, but never karaoke in front of 20,000 or 25. I don't know how much Walnut Creek seats, but.
Well, everyone seemed to, I mean, you say you're not a singer, but I haven't heard one bad thing about it. Everyone was just living that you were up there on that stage.
So. I think they might have been tuning up my microphone pretty good too, but I didn't really care what I sounded like. I just wanted my stage presence to be known, and I definitely did that. I was slapping asses, and it was incredible.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's a kids show. I probably can't say that. Sorry.
No,
It's not.
fine.
It's not. You're
It's
good.
not a kid show. You're good.
We are beyond. No, we're beyond that. But I do want to kind of rewind the clock back to the playoffs, especially the second round. Like, how was that experience like for you? Just absolutely going off against the Devils and just seeing everyone like losing their minds on social media. Just
you were known as the Wayne Gretzky. You were known as Wayne Gretzky there for a little bit.
Yeah, that was a great goal call, though. That was a great goal call.
I definitely enjoyed that. It was my confidence is an amazing thing. I've said it before in other interviews, but whenever you get feeling it and it just feels like everything's kind of clicking, and that's kind of what happened. And I feel like there's always kind of like one of those stories around or a playoffs where you're like, okay, this guy kind of came out of nowhere. And it was definitely cool to be that guy. And I felt like our whole team played well against Jersey. I was just the one that kind of had the point total or whatever, but it was cool. I'm not gonna say I was enjoying it. And I out of 2 years ago when I'd log on Twitter and I'd be getting carved, and then after going on Twitter there, I was like, okay, I can go on Twitter again. So
and I don't think people on Twitter too realize how much you guys see.
Yeah, no, that is
so
true.
That was kind of an eye opener for a lot of people.
Yeah, I guess when I said that in the media the one year, everybody's like, "Oh, how are they seeing all this stuff?" And it's like, well, we got family members that look out for us. We got there's eyes and ears everywhere. So
it's not just you either, because Jarvis said he was also seeing some feedback on his new tattoo. So
there was like 6 fingers or something.
Oh
Some people just need to shut up.
No, so kind of playing off of playoffs going into this upcoming season too. Obviously there's some new faces to the team. Is there a kind of narrative that you guys are talking about in the locker room kind of going into this season that you guys want to get done?
I don't know. I don't think there's not anything needs to be talked about. It's kind of like a quiet confidence that we created the last 5 being since Rod took over. It's like, okay, we know how we're going to play. Every team knows how we're going to play. We're going to do it the same way every night, and usually we're going to come out successful. And then you put in the amount of skill that our team has and the amount of workers and everybody doing it the right way from top to bottom. And then obviously you look at the strength of our team since I've been here has been our defense. And I think every year I keep saying it's getting better, and better. And this year's no different. It's probably the deepest decor I've seen on an NHL roster. So and then you bring back your 2 goalies that had a phenomenal, like 2 years ago, they win the Jennings. Last year, they were unbelievable. Then you have another guy in the weeds that's obviously phenomenal. So, but then you gotta manage expectations too. Like, obviously we're meant to be a good team. Now we need to go out and prove it and do what we need to do to be at the top come April.
Nice.
Yeah. How excited are you to get your hallway yelling buddy back at Mr. Svechnikov back in the lineup?
Yeah, no, I feel like obviously this is a big injury, and he works his butt off harder than anybody probably in our team next to Rod. Rod,
Burnsy, Andre.
To be able to see how much he puts into it and how much he's he's working like I said, he's working so hard every day to get back. And obviously when you have an injury of this caliber, you have good days and bad days, and we're just trying to keep his good days and eliminate the bad days. But it's hard because he's trying to get to where he needs to be, and then some days it's like, okay, maybe it's not there, and then some days he feels great. So we're just trying to get him to feel great all the time, and the time will come soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
And like what Rod was saying, it's like you focus on one win at a time. So one day at a time for an injury like that too. I mean, we want to get him back, but we want to get him back, towards for the end result. Like we lost him towards the end last time. So
yeah, we obviously felt that not having him, he's a difference maker on the ice. So we don't want to rush him back by no means. He means a lot more in May and June than he does in September and October. So I know they're taking every precaution with him, and I'm happy to watch the training staff work with him every day, and he's in good hands. So happy for him.
Yeah,
absolutely.
One last question before we let you, because I know you.
Yeah.
But like, so the captain Jordan Staal gets his contract extension. Like, what was that like? Just hearing that you got the captain back for another 4 years, and just knowing that you got your whole line back together, because they also extended Jesper Foss as well.
Yeah, no, I'm obviously I didn't think it was not going to happen. So
right.
Obviously I was more worried about Quickie, just because Jordo has been here forever, and I know this is the only place he wanted to be, and I obviously I feel the same for Quickie too, but it's a little different when you've only been for 2 instead of 12 or 13. So
yeah, right.
But definitely happy to have both those guys back, and just know exactly kind of what they do, and our games kind of all mesh together really well. And if hopefully we can play together. If we don't, then I'm sure if he needs us to play together at some point, it's easy to put us together. So
no, for sure.
Happy to have both those guys back.
We never know. I mean, we jokingly, because we would say the third line with you guys, like you guys were always the line that everyone could count on being together last season, because we always joke to love to call him Rod Blindamore a little bit. But we look forward to if you guys play together. You guys had great chemistry. So if that happens, we are excited. But we're excited to see Martinook playing anywhere.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I got
you're good.
Mini rock star coming in with his guitar. So
nice.
I love it.
I might have to head out, guys. So
no, totally
fine. You're good.
Yeah, I know you're good. So before we let you go, is there anything you want to promote real quick, or the beer, the charity?
No, it's all good. I'm just you've been wanting me to get on for a long time, so I'm happy we made it work. And
we definitely
make sure you don't leave me off your lineup chart next year, and then we're all
I
good.
knew that was coming. I knew. I am sorry for that. Totally 100%.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So when you said that to me, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
I'm like, the one tweet Jordan Martinook saw was that one. I was calling you Marty Constantine through the whole playoff. So it's like,
thank you for giving all of us a second chance on that, Marty. We appreciate it.
No, we appreciate it.
Thanks, guys, and continued success in your pod.
Thank
you. Can't wait to see you this season.
You have a great season, Jordan. Big thank you to Marty for jumping on with us. That was so much fun. Just being able to talk to him and also get roasted at the same time. It was funny because when we started talking with the exit interviews, I could tell all of our faces at the point we were like, oh, is he gonna say
Here
it?
it comes. Here it comes.
And then he did it. Then I'm like, okay, maybe it's not, all right, he didn't say anything, no big deal. And then right at the end, it's like, here you go. And it's like, I was waiting for it, but no, big shout out to Marty for coming on. Like I said, 15-20 minutes, a lot of great stories talking about his summer and all that stuff. What a summer of 2023 for Jordan Martinook. Just everything got going on. And this was even before he even did the NC State game too, being the hype man for one of their games. So that was so great.
And Mike told us when we let Mike know that we managed to get Jordan for the 100, Mike was like, oh, you're going to have some fun stories. He's going to have some great conversation. And he was not wrong.
He was not wrong. Even Walt said it too. He's like, you guys are really going to enjoy him and stuff like that too. So yeah, like I said, it was just being able to have him for episode 100. Like, you can't get any better than that for a milestone episode like this. Like, we thought, okay, let's get to episode 50, see where it goes. Then it's like, all right, let's get to episode 100 and see where we go. And this is our huge guest for episode 100.
Oh, yeah.
Our first ever Hurricanes player on the podcast.
Hopefully the first of a few.
Yes.
Which would be great for the podcast. It would be awesome to kind of chat with them.
Yeah, there's a long wish list of players, people with the team, and all that stuff too. Yeah, there's still a long wish list we need to get through for guests on the podcast. But just to get Marty right away for where we're at, can't get any better than that.
What's the brand that you've created that people now associate this podcast with anyway, especially in the Fancy Duck Boys? But yeah, it's so crazy the fact of where we're at right now. Just a great community of
people that support us and all that stuff. And the crazy part is we're about a couple of hundred downloads away from hitting 10,000 too. So, I mean,
oh yeah,
I think this episode will definitely help us get to that goal. Episode 100, 10,000 downloads all time. Yeah,
absolutely.
The trajectory is going up for sure. And I will have to say this though, Kyle from the Hockey Podcast Network, we talked for a few minutes the other day before we did this episode, and he wanted to congratulate us and just all that stuff too. So Kyle, big thank you for the support, and we're just lucky to be with the network. The network is great.
Yeah, thanks a lot, boss man.
Jeez. Oh, speaking of which,
so supportive for a Calgary fan, man.
Oh my gosh. Well, speaking of Kyle and Calgary, so I am going to drop some cool news though. So the boss man is actually going to be joining us for an episode of the SurgeCast before the Calgary Hurricanes game next month, and we're going to be doing a live stream where we're just going to do our live reactions while watching said game too. So if you want to check that out, make sure to join us for our live stream for the Calgary Hurricanes game. So I don't know if all of us are going to be there, but some of us will be there along with Kyle. So that's going to be a fun little crossover, and plus we're going to have
run by the SurgeCast. It's going to be a wild one.
Oh,
if I am able to be there, you guys think I roast Zach? I roast Kyle 100% more.
Oh, yeah.
Excited for
the game's in Calgary too, Kat. So unless you're going to be in Calgary, I mean, good chance all three of us might be there. That's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's a Wednesday night. So if you got nothing going on Wednesday night and want to watch the game and watch us just talk a whole lot of crap to Kyle about the Flames, you might want to stick around for that live stream coming next month. But so before we go into anything else and all that good stuff, we got to talk about some amazing sponsors. And the first sponsor we got to talk is DraftKings. And thankfully, we finally got a hockey one, guys. No more football. We are officially doing a hockey ad read. Bet the action on the ice with DraftKings Sportsbook. And for this week, there is a few games they have on there. This one I thought would be very interesting, especially for one Miss Bailey Curtis, who for some reason has the Avs as her second team. It is what it is. We all make certain choices. But the Colorado Avalanche are playing the Seattle Kraken tomorrow night for a 10 p.m. Eastern game. And for the money line, the Avalanche are actually a minus 148 to the Seattle Kraken's plus 124. For the puck line, the Avalanche are is a minus 1.5, and that's actually set at plus 164, while the Kraken are plus 1.5, and that's set to 198, and that's a minus 198. Over under is set at 26.5, which is a minus 105 for Colorado and a minus 115 for the Kraken. So there's those games. You also got Islanders, Oilers, Sharks, Ducks. Those games are tonight. So when this does drop later this afternoon, you might still have a chance to, bet on some of the 7 o'clock games and the 8 o'clock game and stuff like that. But if you're looking for tomorrow, Islanders, Oilers, Avalanche, Kraken. So make sure you go check those out with Sportsbook, DraftKings. But download the app now and use code THPN. New customers can get $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on hockey. That's code THPN only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. The crown is yours. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1-800-GAMBLER.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please pay responsibly on behalf of Blue Hill Casino and Resort. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/hockey for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gambling resources. NHL and the NHL Shield are registered trademarks of the National Hockey League. Copyright NHL 2023, all rights reserved. Now, our next sponsor we got to talk about, and they've been with us for officially 100 episodes of the podcast, Miss Bailey Curtis. Please talk about the OG of the OGs. Primo X Hockey.
So unless you guys have been living under a rock and don't like hockey or something, which if you don't like hockey, why the heck are you here? Be sure to go check our day one sponsors of the podcast and Primo X Hockey. Still got their BOGO 50% off all laces deal going on. So if that's not enough of an incentive for you, I don't know what is. But anything your heart desires in regards to tape, socks, laces, pucks and balls, grips, protective gear, merch, which their merch is awesome. That's like best reason to go over there. Be sure to, again, go check out primoxhockey.com. Go to checkout, put some items in your cart, and use code SurgeCast for 20% off of your order. That is right. Sebastian Aho discount. It's great. But if, maybe online shopping's not for you, whatever, they do have a warehouse nearby Raleigh. Be sure to check out their warehouse, which, if I'm not mistaken, they have a brand new warehouse.
It's 1401 Diggs driving at 1411. So same area, just a bigger
there
spot.
You go. So yeah, bigger warehouse, better options for you guys, hopefully. So be sure to go check them out Monday through Saturday. Sunday they are closed. But again, be sure to go check them out. You don't get a discount in there, but if you guys have skates, go take them in for $5 skate sharpening. It's great. They're awesome, great group of guys. Like I said, like me and Zach said, been with us since before there was a podcast to episode to sponsor. So we really appreciate them dealing with our shenanigans. So in order to show off that support, be sure to go check them out. Again, primoxhockey.com or 1401 Diggs Drive, Suite E.
Yes. Please go do that because support them, support us. And our last sponsor we got to talk about real quick before we get to the meat and potatoes of the episode, Kat. We let the people know about Raycon.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but now it's November and I've seen more and more Christmas lights go up. I'm all for it. Decorate whenever you want. I'm personally not going to start the Christmas music anytime soon because I really don't want to wear it out as a December baby. It has a very special meaning for me, but it may be too early to start decorating for the holidays for some people, but it's never too early to start your holiday shopping. Why not take care of it now before the crowds and packed calendars make shopping a total nightmare? I mean, honestly, it's already a nightmare normally during the year, so take advantage of it now, especially online. Especially when you can get some of the best deals of the season well before Black Friday. You can shop Raycon products right now and save up to 50% off because their early Black Friday sale is going on now. Even as I pull up their website, the first thing that greets you is early Black Friday site-wide sale, 20 to 50% off. Like, they are ready to give you their products for a very good discount. As someone that is currently looking for some new in-the-ear headphones, it's very interesting to me because I'm trying to judge between their everyday earbuds and their fitness earbuds, which one would be better suited for what I need them for. But yeah, so of course you've heard us talk about Raycon before and many of our other lovely podcasts on THPN. But we want to talk about it now when you can get great deals. I mean, honestly, we're all about getting good deals to you guys as our lovely listeners. Raycon first made a name for themselves in the audio space with products like their everyday earbuds, known for delivering high quality and thoughtful features like a 32-hour battery life and a perfect in-ear fit for all-day wear and lasting comfort. I don't know about you, and I know as much as you guys love my TikToks when they come out, that sounds great to me because sometimes I don't want the audio to be blasting from my phone as I'm trying to do some silly sound or something, so having them right in my ear so only I can hear them. Or, just commuting, walking from downtown, walking through the stores and everything, you just want to listen to some music and not really make eye contact or talk with people. Fantastic. And this past year, they expanded their entire business with an introduction of Raycon Home and Raycon Power Tech. Their 5-star reviewed Magic 180 cable allows you to charge iOS, micro USB, and Type-C devices 8 times faster with 100-watt power delivery. That's great. You get home, you need to charge your phone before you go to the hockey game. Grab one of those bad boys. They'll be charged ASAP, and then you won't be in the middle of the game and be like, my phone only has 20%. Will it last me to the end of the game to record the Canes winning another game? Now you don't have to worry about that. Their faucet filter ultra filters the water in your tap against chlorine and heavy metals. It's a must-have for ensuring the water you use to wash your face and brush your teeth, actually clean is a great thing to have with your water. sometimes take that for granted. I mean, I've definitely been places where I'm like, oh, I don't feel like going down to the kitchen and getting something like out of the filter of the fridge. So I'm like, I'll just grab it from the tap. If you ever had that and then you're like, ooh, this tap is disgusting, this might be the best thing for you. Raycon is known for delivering high quality and thoughtful features at half price of other premium tech brands. It's no wonder their products have racked up tens of thousands of 5-star reviews. To get everyone in the holiday shopping spirit a bit early, Raycon is currently offering, again, 20% off everything on their site with select products up to 50% off. So beat the crowds and save now. Trust me, you do not want to miss out on Raycon's early Black Friday sale. Hurry now to buyraycon.com/THPN to get 20 to 50% off site-wide. That's buyraycon.com/THPN to score up to 50% off Raycon products. Buyraycon.com/THPN. Go get some fun Black Friday sales. There's some great holiday gifts in there for sure.
Oh no, for sure. I mean, why not get some cool Raycons? Yeah, because I have a pair. They're actually the red ones, and they're actually really good. I really enjoy them. So why not get some cool headphones? So
yeah, and you can even, if you're going to go tailgate for the Canes, I mean, they have a power boombox speaker for only $60 and the everyday speaker for only $20 right now. That's
not bad.
That's actually not bad for the tailgates too. If you want to get the tunes going, because why not? Because you got a party, and I mean, this is the Marty Party episode, so
oh yeah,
why not? Why not? All right. So our last episode, we talked to the guys from the Sabres, and then the Hurricanes played a couple games. A
little back to back.
Yeah, just like New York. There was a split. We got to talk about the bad. We got to talk about the bad before we talk about the good.
Mm-hmm.
That Florida Panthers game was.
Okay, we talked about it. Cool.
I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't able. I was gonna watch the highlights of it and watch it the next day because our lovely friends at Valley decided they still didn't want to do their streaming job. It's fine. So I was going to watch it the next day because my parents thankfully have Spectrum and they were going to record it for me. I saw the feedback of the game and I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll save my mental health and not.
Yeah, it was.
But there was one highlight from that game. And that is the return of one of our favorite defensive pairings.
Yes.
And Pesce and Shea. Yes. He's back, baby. We got Brett Pesce back. I'm so excited.
Yeah,
also, if you check out
Brian,
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 if you check out, 100%. I mean, you check out Ryan Hinkle's his recent article. He spoke about even in that game where we were lacking defensively, Brett and Brady were a highlight in that game. Actually, they had great numbers. And then they did it again in the following game. So it's great to see one of our strong defensive pairing come back and kind of looking like they never missed a step.
Yeah, they really did. And this was actually from Walt Ruff. And the fact that I think he talked to, I forget who he talked to. It was basically talking about, nobody is looking forward to Brett Pesce's return more than Brady Shea. And then Brady Shea said, everyone knows how important he is to the team. He's definitely been missed on and off the ice. So to get him back soon will be huge, which was, because here's the crazy part too, and I really like this stat. Since Shea was required by the Hurricanes in 2020, it's already been 3 years since we got Brady Shea, which is crazy. The two have played over 3,000 minutes together, the second most by any defensive pairing in the NHL. So it goes to show why the chemistry is so great with these guys when you play over 3,000 minutes together, when it's the second most out of all pairings.
They were on the ice for both of our goals, only on the ice for one goal against. And Brady's been packing in some more of those assists recently. So
he really has been. He's gotten a lot more assists. I mean, it's good to see how that's working out for him. But yeah, it's good to see we got Brett back. Unfortunately, I wish the game was better than it was, but what can you do? There's really nothing you can do about that at that point.
There is one more highlight. Sorry, I said there was only one. There's two, technically.
Yes.
Because with that KK goal, KK has been a part of a goal with every winger in the lineup at 5v5 in 2023.
Which is insane to think of, yeah, because I think at that time it was his 6th goal and his 13th point.
Wait, Zach,
of the season.
PB, if you're quiet a second. Oh, yeah, we can hear Montreal being very upset about this. I think I can hear them yelling from here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, you know what? It is what it is, and it's I mean, right now
I mean, we know that Montreal fans might not. So we got to be sensitive to them because Lord knows.
And the thing is,
something out of whack.
It's fine. They moved on to trying to compare who's the better overtime player right now, so it's okay.
Oh yeah, Cole Caulfield and Martinook. Okay.
Like there's even a fight to be had there, but I digress.
With KK though, he's actually after the last night's game against Tempe, he is actually joint tied for first place in points on the team. But we'll get to who he's actually tied with, because the other guy who he is tied with, he's got a couple goals recently in the last couple games. Sebastian Aho did score against Florida, one of only the 2 goals that they had, because him and KK just want to do everything together, because why not? So I mean, the PK did their job, 4 for 5. I mean, they're getting better as the games are going along. So luckily the team isn't taking too many penalties like they used to. So it seems like the PK is finally figuring itself out, and of course the power play is still red hot, still top 10 in the league. So
yeah, again, it was high praise when we had the guys on talking about the Sabres, and they were giving us high praise about our penalty kill. We really appreciate it. I mean, that is something Canes fans take very high.
Yeah,
like we have pride in that. I'm very excited to see our power play actually doing things. But I never wanted that to come at the cost of our pride and joy in the penalty kill. So to see that getting back into its former glory is really nice.
I feel bad. I felt so bad for Antiranta in that game though against Florida, because that was just he couldn't catch the break. Like if you saw the stat card, I mean, there was like 3 or 4 guys that stood out. Everyone else was just it was definitely one of those games where total defense was not the greatest outside of Shea, and I think it was Brett. Like it was okay, but it wasn't the greatest. And I mean,
and I know a lot of people were being like a little, and I understand it. Like that's the team that kicked you out of playoffs. Like why aren't the boys more fired up? Why aren't they coming in there wanting a little revenge? And I can see both sides of it. Obviously you want to win every game. I don't know if they're going to come into it with the animosity of the playoffs just yet. If we see them again in the postseason, I can definitely see that. I mean, we've seen it with other teams that we've met postseason. We're not like looking at the Bruins and everything, being like, all right, this year it's not going to be the same. I don't know if you greet them with that same revenge mindset in the early part of the season, especially, we're switching up lines. You got some new guys. I definitely can see it further down the line, but I do think there was a little, the team was a little lackadaisical.
Yeah. So
I mean, Rod's quote, we all knew he kind of probably tore them a new one because his quote that Walt said. Do you want to read it, Zach?
No, do you have it on your screen, or
I have it? Yeah.
Yeah, you go ahead and read it.
Our top guys weren't very good tonight. You're not going to win if they're not consistently at least matching the other team's top guys. If you watch Florida's top guys, they were all over. I don't know where our top guys were. And that was post-game Rod Brindamore. You also had our guest of this episode, Marty Man, coming out and saying, yeah, that wasn't good. Like you could tell that he was also very fired up and like, all right, guys, we need to get into this. This isn't how we play.
Yeah, because that's what Walt
said. From your leadership.
Yeah, well, that's what Walt said too. He's like that was probably the most frustrated room he's seen in his 3 years with the Hurricanes so far. Like that's really saying something for the fact you got Rod both frustrated and annoyed and disappointed all at the same time, and you got one of your captains, because Marty does split the A on the road with Sebastian Aho, but you can tell that there was a lot of guys who were not happy with the fact that, and they're even saying that guys are still haven't bought in. So it begs the question of like, okay, who aren't the guys that are buying in, like, of what's going on? Because the fact that it's been said multiple times already in the last couple weeks, which
I think three times, yeah.
3 times in the last couple weeks. And the thing is, you haven't really heard that in the Rod Brindamore era at all. So it is a little concerning. And at the same time, it's like, okay, who really is it? Because is it the new guys? Is it former?
Yeah.
Is it the current? Is it a guy who's been there for a while? We're not going to speculate on who it is. It's just it makes you wonder where the disconnect is right now.
Well, we've never heard in the RBA era, we've never heard of issues with preparation and work ethic. Like that is two things that have been Carolina hockey. So you hear that, and that's honestly the most concerning because honestly, you look around the league and you see some teams that are very stacked with talent and they're falling apart. So, but we could always say that, I love to joke around. You know what? I'll just say it. The Oilers, a team with superstars, has been falling apart. And I love to joke around because everyone likes to say we don't have the superstars, but we have always had the work ethic and the preparation that it didn't matter. When you start taking that away, I'm not saying it hurts them not to have superstars, but that is the characteristic of Carolina hockey. And so you take away that, and it's like, I can't argue for this team then because you're taking away what we're known for.
Yeah. It was definitely a concern to see for sure. And just the fact that you had Rod say what he did in Martinook and stuff like that too. It was one of I think it was definitely the wake-up call that the team needed, which we will talk about in a second. But I do want to bring up this amazing stat, though, from the game didn't end well, but there was some cool things that come out of this game. So Martinook did get 2 assists that night against Florida, and it was on both of the goals. It was his first regular season multi-point game since December 23rd of 2022. So it's good to see Marty get back in a regular season multi-point game of the season. So that is really cool to see. But yeah, just for the fact of how upset everyone was, it's crazy. Yeah. How it went down. And the thing, so actually Walt just tweeted this out. So this is from moneypuck.com. The top 4 lines by expected goal percentage with a minimum of 70 minutes played through regular 5-on-5, guess who's sitting first out of all the lines right now? Martinook, Stahl, and Fost, 71.6% of goals expected percentage. Next best, Marchment, Sagan, and Duchesne of the Stars at 66.3.
I will say though, with that MSF line, we did see that broken up a little bit during one of the last 2 games.
Last night's game. The last night's game was the first one. I was kind of surprised by that because I'm like, okay, it was an interesting lineup to say the least.
That makes 100%. And that kind of makes me think is that line so consistent? Like we've always touch that line, don't break it up. But if that's also the line of the guys that are buying in and are strong and on the Carolina hockey, put them on the other lines to influence the other guys that they're with.
Yeah, 100% for sure. And one more thing we got to talk about before we move on to last night's game. Michael Bunting actually played in his 200th NHL game against the Panthers. He even said, to play in this league is special every night. It's tough to get here. I don't take any of it for granted. I never lost belief in myself. I never thought I didn't belong. I just kept plugging away and waiting for my opportunity. Here's the crazy part. He just played his 200th NHL game. He actually played in 323 American Hockey League games over 6 seasons before getting his shot with the Maple Leafs. And now he's played in 200 NHL games. So big congrats to Michael Bunting for that accomplishment. You love to see it for a guy who just basically plugged away for over 6 years in the American, make it to the NHL and play 200 games. And Bailey, you can attest to this because we both cover American Hockey League teams and stuff like that. And we've had Andrew Rinaldi on, we've had Elaine Shercliffe and everyone that all the people that we know in the AHL that covers these teams. The AHL isn't a demotion. It's not a punishment league. It's a league where you're supposed to develop and get better and then make yourself an NHL. You have to think about it. A lot of these guys that you see in the NHL, good majority of them had to go to the AHL first and then eventually make it to the NHL. Like, not every player is a McDavid, a Draisaitl, a Crosby, or Seth Jarvis, who goes from the Portland Winterhawks and makes it on the NHL roster. It's not.
I mean,
that simple.
you look at guys like Jack Drury, who spent a considerable amount of time with our AHL affiliate.
Steph Nason and Jalen Chatfield too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like
Steph Nason, who's bounced back and forth. Like he was up in the big leagues and then he got put down, not saying, not any disrespect to the AHL, but again, he got up to the NHL and then he got put back down and he's like, all right, I'm just going to keep working until I get my chance again.
The thing, I was talking about this with somebody else the other day too, and it's not like, as a fan, that's maybe how you look at it, is it's a league under it is like you're not as good to play this kind of hockey, like it is a demotion if you go from here to here and then back up here and then back down here. A lot of guys really understand, like, it's just part of the job. That's really all it is. Like, I think players are at a point where they understand that, the people who are making those kinds of moves have their best interests at heart. They want to see them grow into the player that these coaches know that this player is capable of being. And in order to get from point A to point B, staying up in the show isn't always going to be your best option. Like you go down to a league where you can sit and maybe get top line minutes, whereas you might be fighting for a spot up in the NHL. And that way too, like you're getting that playing time, especially if you have an AHL affiliate. You've got a system where they know your system of play, and so they're going to sit and develop you in the way that's going to help you best succeed in this system.
Yeah.
And overall, you're still playing hockey. Like, it's
absolutely
not, and you're playing hockey at a level that, I'm sorry, us spectators aren't going to be playing. Like, it's still a pretty high level of hockey. You're still playing. You're playing with guys that have either played in the NHL as well, or they're on their way up and they're young up and coming. Like, you're still playing hockey, and you're still playing hockey for a respectable team. It's definitely not a demotion. If anything, it's a training stepping stone for a lot of guys. Also, it's, if that's where some guys stay, like, that's still great. Like, that's better. That's not your pee-wee hockey, like, on Saturdays. Like, it's still a big deal to be in the AHL.
So. Well, you like, it's like Podorowski, who was with the Chicago Wolves for a while, and now he's with the Coachella Valley Firebirds. And I don't know why he hasn't gotten a call yet, but that's just another example of a guy who's done it, but still is stuck somewhere. But it's a thing where it's
Zach will forever mention him. Zach will forever mention him until something happens.
Yep.
Hey, me in front of the podcast, Andrew and Ollie are waiting for him to finally get his peace and his justice, to just get a call. Please make it happen. But and the thing is, it's like, when I think we're all in agreement here. It's like, if you're struggling with something, you can go to the American, go and work on it to make it better. Because then it's like the lights aren't as bright, the media isn't so hard on you when you're able to go and fix the things you need to, then come back.
Why do you think when we had Freddie and Ronta that we didn't keep Pyotr Kochetkov with us all the time?
And look what we did. Look what we did with Syracuse. He absolutely went off, got a shutout, got at least 3 or 4 wins with Syracuse, and they still played him. Everyone's so worried, like, oh, they won't play him. No, in the American Hockey League, you actually want to. Those teams care about winning
most
games
teams.
too.
Most teams really.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
When they're given a task of developing a player, they want to win, but that development also always comes first and foremost.
And think about this though too. You think about the Hurricanes, Jacob Slavin, Brett Pesce. Let's say, if we're going way back, Derek Ryan, all these guys you can think of. Guess where they were at some point? With the Charlotte Checkers, when they were our affiliate. So, yeah, even the big names that you like on this team now who've been here for a while, guess what? They all probably went to the American League. They're not an Andrei Svechnikov or a Sebastian Aho where they're automatically on the roster like that, and it's no big deal. There's guys who had to go through the American.
Yeah.
So,
I know you said we're going to start. I mean, we might as well talk about it now. I mean, it just happened. I mean, we might as well. And then it'll lead into it.
Are we talking about the booty call situation?
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
100%.
You had to word it like that. You had to word it like that.
How else are you going to word it?
Well, yeah. Andrew Rinaldi did put it that way, so big thank you to Andrew.
So
he's excited.
We have reassigned Dominic
Finsori.
Mm-hmm. Griffin Mindell, and Ronan Seeley from the Norfolk Admirals to the Chicago Wolves.
Yep. I just want to know who made that call.
Also, though,
who do you think made that call?
Oh God!
Hey, we're 1-6-1. Can we get some of your prospects back?
We also, Ponorava also went there. Like, he's also been reassigned there. Granted, the guy. Okay, this is and Andrew said this well. The parents went through a divorce. All right, that's affecting the kids. Like the kids all want to play on a team together, and granted, they want to play. They want to play for a team. They want to play for a team that's leading up into the NHL. I don't know what the Wolves are thinking, because players go to play in the AHL not only for, like we said, for great opportunities to play hockey, but a lot of them want to have that NHL call up. You know, it's a great way to do that. Having an NHL affiliate, it's great.
Well, there's also the idea too, because Ponomarev, he was playing with the Tucson Roadrunners, and apparently he told reporters that he didn't want to be there anymore, and that he wanted to go to the Wolves. So there's obviously some sort of, like, I don't know if it has to do with, hey, I know other guys are pushing for this as well, I want to go play with them, or it's a, hey, I want to be with this organization.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing where we're all joking about it, about, booty calling or, a parent trap situation. I think the guys really just, the guys that were in Norfolk really wanted to play in the AHL, because obviously it's nothing against the ECHL, but at that certain level, you have to be there, and you can't.
It breaks down to two things: the Canes honoring, like, hey, our players want to play together. It's best for them to develop together, as was intended. We want them to have the best experience, work the best, because then that's who the guys that we want to develop and bring up to us. They're still with us, but if they want to play there, great. And the Wolves being like, you know what? We're kind of sucking right now, so that would actually be great for us. So that's what it pretty much comes down to, is both, like, the Canes recognizing this is what's best for our players, and the Wolves, I'm, not for sure, but I feel like a little bit of, like, taking in, like, a pride hit of being like, yeah, maybe we could use the guys that we technically would have had if we didn't want to go independent.
No, my question is, how long is it before we get Dylan Coughlin out to Chicago as well instead of Springfield with the Thunderbirds? He's doing
great in Springfield.
No, I'm just saying, I wonder when he's going to move over to Chicago as well, and just bring the band back together in Chicago, because Jan Perez is. No one knows if he's going to stay in Norfolk or if he's going to get moved up too. I guess it all depends on what Chicago wants to do. But like I said, we're all joking about it, but it's good to see all the guys back. We just got to poke a little fun, because
it wouldn't be necessary. Literally, all of these antics wouldn't be necessary if the Wolves didn't do what they did. Like, it's just honest.
If you can't handle the slight jabbing and the chirps, maybe hockey isn't your sport. It's a joke. We're just joking, but it's good to see.
No, I said it last time. If you watch hockey, you got to be able to take a hit.
Yep.
But it's good to see a lot of the guys back together. So it definitely is a very interesting situation. But Andrew Rinaldi's somewhere just fist.
Andrew Rinaldi does not work for the Chicago Wolves. Can we just clarify that?
He was finally able to put that in his bio.
He just writes about them.
Yes, it's so good to see that he was actually right to put that in his bio. I do not work for the Wolves.
Using a meme of Piotr does not mean anything, except it's a meme. That's what the internet is.
I will say, though, that meme of the "Hey, you up" text, that meme was so great. The Wolves just texting Stormy.
He sends that to us in our group chat, and Zach goes, dude, if you don't post that, I will.
And he pretty much did, and I'm just enjoying the fact that it was the meme of the day, and this was like 9:00 in the morning. I'm like, yeah, call it. It's done. Any other meme will not compare to this one.
Yep.
It's so great. It's so great. So the Hurricanes also played last night in Tampa, and everyone's wondering, what's going to happen? How are the Hurricanes going to respond after just basically
kind of needed to be a statement game. How are you going to respond when one of your leaders and your coach kind of calls you out for how you're playing?
And we talk about the line got blended up. The third line did break up. They had Foss on the fourth line. Teravina was on the third line with Martinook and Jordan Stahl.
Yeah, we had Svet, Aho, and Jarvis, Bunting,
Yep.
KK, Natchez, Martinook, Stahl, Teravinen, Nason, Drury, and Quickie.
That second line's still pretty solid. Even without Tavo on there, and you still got Kakaniemi with Bunting and Natchez. Like those three together.
Bunting probably finally did something. Sorry. He's on my fantasy. He finally did something. He hasn't been doing anything the last couple of games.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry to say it. I love to see he got on there with KK and he got some production, and I love to see it.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's so Piotr's in net looking for his first win of the season after dominating the AHL with the Syracuse Crunch, and boy, did he deliver. He even got he got the Chaos T-shirt after the game, so you love to see it because he got a 23 save shutty for his first of the year. And
played
I want
so well.
King Stat Brand. If you're not following them at this point, I don't know what you're doing with your life.
You're under a rock, man. Go follow this man.
Yes, in the last 50 years, this is the list of goalies that have had 5 shutouts in their first 30 games. Yeah, think about that. 5 shutouts in the first 30 games of his career. Start from the oldest to the most recent. Steve Mason, 2009. Antti Niemi, 2010. Cam Talbot, put that in some perspective, 2014. Martin Jones, 2015. Jordan Bennington, 2019. Oof, Maroons. Elvis Merzlikins, 2020. You love to see that. Ilya Sorokin, 2021. And this year, Kochetkov has joined the list of guys with 5 shutouts.
You gotta be happy for you gotta be happy for the Russian. He's earned it. Absolutely.
He also, again, as we talk about guys going down to the AHL and playing, I mean, I know for a while everyone's like, why do we have him down there? Like, he's obviously so ready to come up here because he was just killing it down there. But also, the development of being down there and to now is like amazing. Like many of us tweeted about it last night. There were so many little, every time we play Tampa, it gets a little scrappy. There were so many little scraps around his neck and net. And then he would normally, the Piotr we all know, would reach in, maybe get a little bit in there, be hitting a couple of guys. He just skated away. Like, that's maturity. He was like, I'm playing a fantastic game. I don't need to be involved in any of this. Like,
we actually got a power play out of one of those scrums because I forget who it was. Someone pushed Orlov into Piotr, and we got a power play out of it. So there's that. I do want to say this though about shutouts, and it's very fitting because this is from Mike Comito on Twitter. On this day in 2000, Archer's Irby became just the second European-born goalie in NHL history to record 25 shutouts. Hurricanes legend Archer's Irby with a shutout of his own. So
familiar names, good company.
I would say so. I would see some really, really good company with that. But overall, though, I mean, what a night for these guys. Like I said, Tavo got his 9th of the season on the power play. Aho Nietzsche's got assists on that goal. And then second period, Sebastian Aho gets his second in 2 games. You love to see him getting the goal ticks up. And that was his 4th of the season with, Mr. Svechnikov and Jacob Slavin getting assists on those goals. And then in the third period, because why not? Brent Burns with his 3rd. Brady Shea doing Brady Shea things. Get this, though. That's Brady Shea's 10th assist already this season.
And that moves
10 assists
Burns
in 15.
That also moves Burns into the top 10 all-time goals by a defenseman in NHL history.
And how many is that right now for him? Did it say or?
Oh, I don't have that up in front of me right now.
Okay. I was just curious, but no, it's just awesome to see.
I think he's right, and I think he's right behind. I think he's right behind Hedman for the Tampa Bay.
Oh, there you go then.
But also with his offensive partner, our boy Jacob Slavin also holds the franchise record for career assists by a defenseman with 197.
Yeah, and that was from Hurricanes PR. So I mean, they're always great too. So if you're not following them, but for the fact he's already 3 shy of 200 assists with the Hurricanes, that's pretty good.
So I have the numbers up in front of me. That puts Brent Burns. I actually see him when it comes to most goals defenseman career. He actually sits at number 9.
Oh, wow.
248 goals puts him right above Brian Leach.
Okay, yeah.
Ray Bort currently holds that record at 410, followed by
Of
Paul
course.
Coffey,
Of course.
Al McInnes, Phil Housley, Dennis Potvin, Larry Murphy, Bobby Orr, and Nicholas Lidstrom.
Oh, so Hall of Famer, 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 Hall of Famer.
I'm sensing a theme here.
I'm sensing.
I mean, yeah, they talked about it on the bright. They were like, oh, he's going to have easy company up there when he's finally done playing.
Oh yeah, Brent Burns is going to be in the Hall of Fame for sure. Norris, bunch of goals, assists. Now, add a Stanley Cup to him, he'll definitely be into the Hall of Fame with the Hurricanes. But
now,
I don't know. Other people I think should be in the Hall of Fame, and they don't seem to be listening to me. So obviously Burns should be, but we got to be. If he's in there, we got to get our boy Rod in there as well.
Oh,
the only thing I will say though too is so he sits at number 9 with Nicholas Lidstrom at number 8. Nicholas Lidstrom has 264 goals all time. Brent Burns sits at 248. That's not that big of a gap.
He'll catch him. He'll catch Lindstrom for sure.
Bobby Orr's right up there with 270 too. So there's some great opportunities for Burnsy here to make a statement for the rest of his career.
Well, we got this year and next year with him too. So we have about a season and a season and 2/3 left. So it's very possible that he could at least catch Bobby Orr before his current contract's up, and who knows what's out. I mean, heck, the Hurricanes could keep him for a cheaper contract for a year or two, because why not? And just move him a little bit farther down the pairing.
We'll see.
We'll see. But it's a possibility. And then the fourth goal, Steph Nason gets it to, makes it 4-0. Bunting and Burns with the assist on that. How about Michael Bunting early on in that game getting a fighting major a minute 41 into the game?
I mean, there's some bad blood with I mean, honestly, there's always been a little bite with us in Tampa Bay. And it was
also with Tanner Janot, so I'm not really surprised.
Is it Kucherov? Who was it that was wanting to fight Aho the one time when it was at home?
It was probably Kucherov.
Yeah, so we've had some beef there ourselves. But Bunting also has a history with them, so I'm not that surprised. Watson was also trying to cause some drama. The warm-ups, crossing the center ice, trying to get over on our side.
Yeah, I saw
having that.
Yeah, I saw the video
and then at
on
the end
Instagram
of the game,
with that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then at the end of the game, he was also they were down 3-4-0, and he was going around trying to start some things. So it was a very. That part of the game is always going to be a little chippy, but
it's Tampa. It's Tampa. They
that's
always do
that's why I tweeted, and I was like, "Does Bunting have beef with it?" And it wasn't a bad thing. I just feel like of everyone, he always is finding a way into a scrum more than Nason, which is kind of hilarious to me. But it always feels like there's some backstory of tension between him and someone on the other team, and I'm always how does he have that with every team? I was like, is that a result of being a Leaf?
Actually, funny you mentioned that. So actually, when he was with the Leafs, the Leafs aren't really known for a team that will. The last couple of games they've started sticking up for their guys a lot more. Not against Boston though, when Liljegren got hurt and no one went after Marchand. There is a lot of history of Bunting basically he draws a lot of penalties and he gets into a lot of YIATAs with a bunch of guys, and the Leafs were kind of whatever with it, and that's why a lot of guys didn't want him in Toronto anymore, because he got sick of his antics. But it's those are the type of things that gets your team a lot of power plays. So I think is the fact that he was the only guy that would stick up for teammates when someone got hit pretty bad or anything.
Now they got Reeves.
He was Reeves has done nothing though. That's the funny part. He's done nothing after the first 2 games. So, but yeah, you mentioned that, because he was the only one that would do something on the Leafs. So basically that's why everyone started targeting him, because we can get under his skin and get him off the ice, and that's basically what led to it, because he was the only one that would stick up for his teammates.
So honestly, again, I love that little bit of sandpaper grit and stuff. it's a different kind than when we have Lemieux on the ice, in my opinion. So all for it.
It's timing. It's right place, right time. Well, speaking of Kucherov, so Ryan Henkel tweeted this out, and I thought this was a fantastic quote from Steph Nason.
Who's 300? It was his 300th game. We talked about it being Bunting's 200th on against Florida. Against Tampa, it was Nason and Natchez' 300th. Both very. Mike talked about it some at the beginning of the game. It was really interesting because like two guys hitting 300 NHL games, two guys that play very different styles of hockey, two guys that have a very different path into being in the hockey. Like you've got Natchez again. Like he asked, Mike said he asked Rod about it, and you've got Natchez, pure skill. Like you never know. You're so excited to see his game. It's very like inspiring, and just it's nonstop. We've seen his overtime goals, yeah. But with Nason, which I think is one of the highest praise that Rod or anyone can give, he said, "You know what you're going to get every night from this guy. He is pure consistency." And when he said that, I was like, talent and skill are great, but to have that praise from Rod, because that's the type of player that Rod loves. And I was like, that speaks millions of words to go to Nason, especially on his 300th game, a guy that's bounced back and forth between the NHL and the AHL and to secure his spot in our lineup, especially where he can play on any line, and he's going to help out the guys no matter what line he's on.
Oh, for sure.
So go ahead to his quote it's even better now.
Oh, it does. So for this was from Ryan Henkel. Someone in Tampa asked Nason if Nikita Kucherov's absence had an impact on the Canes being able to win. The response is just so spicy, and I'm here for it. You have to go ask them that question. We play our game. I don't really care who they have on their team. Plus, I don't really play against them, so I could care less. It's such a Steph Nason response, and I'm just absolutely here for it. That was just so great. That was so great. It's like I don't care who is on the ice. We're gonna go play our game, and you know what? Yeah, Kucherov was on the ice, but guess what? The Hurricanes still won 4-0. So, are you telling me one guy's gonna change the tide of a game? Okay, they have a bunch of other players too. Still had Stammer, still had Hagel, Sergachev. I mean.
Honestly, sorry to that reporter, but the question they should have asked is, would it have been different if Vasilevsky was on the ice? I think we still would have won. I think we played one of our most complete games, but Vasi is a different breed of goalie. Like
that would
I'm sorry, Tampa would be playing a lot differently if they had him.
Oh yeah, well yeah. The thing is, Tampa also wouldn't be. Let me see standings. Yeah, Tampa also wouldn't be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 in the Atlantic Division at 16 points, behind Boston at 24, Detroit at 18, Maple Leafs at 18, Panthers 17, the Canadiens at 16, and then the Sabres are only 1 point behind them with 15, and Ottawa's 12. So, yeah. I think it would probably be a lot nicer for them if they did have Vasilevsky, but the problem is they don't, and this is where they're at. So there you go. And I will say this to you before the Tampa game. Brian Pesci put it perfectly. Guys, relax. There's 82 games in a season. That's so many games.
82 games.
So many games. And the thing is, the Hurricanes, as of right now, are 9-6-0. 18 points. Guess what? They're only, 3 behind the Rangers. Now, of course, the Rangers do have 2 games in hand, but the Hurricanes are still in second. They've played the most games out of the whole division with 15.
We've also been on the road the most. We've been on the road the most. These are away games with guys that have been injured.
Yeah, I'll rephrase. Sorry. The Flyers also have had 15. But the rest of the divisions basically either play 13 or 14 games. But there's still 2 points up on the Capitals, 3 on the Devils, and of course, like I said, 2 games in here for those guys too. Pittsburgh is at 14 points after 13 games. The Islanders are at 13 after 13. And the Jackets are 11 after 14. But that doesn't – the Hurricanes are still second. It's okay, guys. A lot of hockey left.
Also, listen,
It's
like
gonna be okay.
we shouldn't overreact to every loss. Yeah, the Florida loss, even the team was like, all right. And now we've seen how they respond to that. They are self-aware. They're gonna respond and they're gonna go out and be like, they showed us. They're like, okay, we understand. All right. For little losses, the ones that are a lot closer and maybe we played really well and then we just get that, like, we shouldn't overreact to those. I mean, again, the night that we lost to Florida, you know who also lost? The New Jersey Devils. Also, the night that we lost to Florida, I mean, it was 5-2. The last one was empty net. So, I mean,
it was 4-2.
So, technically 4-2. There are other teams in the league that should be doing a lot better than they are, getting beat like, sorry, Bailey, 8-1 or sorry, 8-2. You have there's other big blowouts in the league.
7-0, 4-0.
You don't need to remind me.
Well, not just you, but like also the Oilers. Yeah. Like there's
Flames.
teams that there are teams that are something like, so even on the games where we're like, ooh, we are not playing well, the team said, ooh, we're not playing well, and it's lack of work ethic and that stuff. That stuff, Rod can coach them. That stuff, he will work them into getting back into the work ethic part, because if you've got him talking to you about it, you've got Marty Man talking to you about it, it's gonna come. And the new guys are finding their footing. We've got guys coming back from injury. You got Svech back, Pesci's back. It's great news. But even on that, when we didn't play our best and we only technically lost 4-2, I'll take it. And then also, we're so early in the season. You tell this is happening in March, I'm upset. Happening right now, it's okay.
I mean, let's
They're solving it.
Let's not forget last December, and Bailey, I mean, you talked about this before Cal became an official host of the show. We talked about this in December a lot. Remember that stretch of runs where it was a bunch of points, but a lot of overtime losses in the middle of that? Let's not forget how last December was.
Yeah, we made a huge statement for ourselves in overtime. Not necessarily negative, but not necessarily positive either.
No,
like the way that we kind of looked at it, I remember us talking about it. Right, but I do remember us saying, you know, a point's a point. And it goes to show, like, there's a certain aspect of grit to this team that maybe not a lot of other teams possess. But it also goes to show the lack of finishing that the Canes kind of possessed during that run. And now you're not only, we're seeing a little bit more finishing, but we're not seeing the defense and the grit on the other side of that.
Right. Well, you're talking about finishing. I think there's a lot of good finishers
Great.
on this hockey team because Sebastian Aho is tied for first on the team with points with 13. And the guy he's tied with, 13 points in 15 games from one Mr. Jesperi Kotkaniemi. It's pretty solid. Yeah.
Goes to show what great development can do for you. Huh.
I can hear them yelling from Canada.
I know a friend of the podcast, Jules, is really loving this.
If I had Raycon earbuds, maybe I wouldn't be able to hear them, but I can hear them yelling from.
For the fact that he's 13 after 15 games is pretty solid. For 6 goals, 7 assists for 13 is fantastic. Sebastian Aho, 4 goals, 9 assists for 13. So he's gotten 2 goals in the last 2. And talking about this too, how about the fact that you also got Teuvo Teravainen with 10 points and he leads the team with 9 goals? Can't really be too upset about that.
Not mad.
No, not at all. You love to see it. So the 3 forward Finns are playing really well and they're finishing really well, of course. How about Martin Nietzsche's 12 points, 5 goals, 7 assists. And then one Mr. Brady Shea, like I said, leads the team in assists with 10, and he's got 12 points. He's not scoring a lot of goals, but he's getting a lot of assists, and you love to see it. And here's a crazy stat, too. He actually leads the team in plus-minus with 8. I mean, and guess what? His defense partner, Brett Pesci, +5. Of course, he only played 7 games, but still +5 is still really good, though. So that defense,
we're so proud.
that defensive pairing is playing really well together. Like I said, 8 and 5, not bad, honestly. But yeah, it's so you actually we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 guys with double-digit points already this season after 15 games. Like I said, Kakayemi and Aho both at 13. Shea and Nietzsche are at 12. Tavo and Seth Jarvis are both at 10. Which, oh, by the way, Bailey, thank you for Seth Jarvis in our fantasy league for the Marty party. I needed a forward pretty badly, so thank you for Seth Jarvis. And
You're
I know
very welcome.
Well, I know you needed a goaltender because your goaltending situation was not ideal.
Shesterkin's day to day. I had Jack Campbell on my team and got rid of him for Corpusalo. I talked to somebody else who convinced me that Saros might be a nice investment down the road. So we'll see.
You're welcome for Saros for sure.
We'll see.
I didn't fully give. I think I asked you questions. I don't think I fully gave you my advice.
No,
on it.
you didn't.
Well, honestly, what you did is probably what I would advise. I'm sorry, I didn't follow up on that.
No, it's okay. I talked to somebody else and they were like, I'm not going to tell you what they said because I don't want to give you my thought process, but like, I'm not mad at it.
I think it was a fair trade because I got a good forward out of it, and definitely needed a goalie, and Saros has not been it. So now I just got to hope that Joseph Wall can finally figure it out and help my fantasy team. Playing Moose this week was the absolute worst. He is absolutely donkey stomping my team, and I'm not here for it.
I just need to set reminders.
It's not been a good
one. Anyway, we could talk about fantasy hockey forever.
We could because it's fun.
2 little things that are hockey related, not quite about the game. We love that game. Honestly, it's a feel good weekend game going into now. We can feel a little bit at ease going back
with 3 days off. With 3
days off, and then they've got their little home run, which is great. Honestly, can't wait to be at PNC for a little bit. But one fun thing is Official League is partnering with the Canes for the Ultimate Canes collection. So you're gonna get some cool new swag coming out soon.
The hats the hats are gonna be so sick. They're gonna be.
You had Dan LaTaraka coming in the comments too, saying how excited he is for stuff. And when Dan's coming in saying some things, to expect great things.
Like when we had him on before during the off season, they were gonna kick it into high gear, and boy, have they ever done it.
The graphics. The intro video. I make sure to get to the game early to watch the intro video all the time. The intro video is amazing. All of their graphics. So Jack has killed it with the graphics recently. Ooh,
100%.
So
I cannot. I'm going to be there on the 30th for the Islanders Hurricanes game as press, but I am still excited to go see that intro video in person because watching it gives you chills just through the app, on Twitter or wherever you watch it or the game. But seeing it in person is going to take it to the next level. So yeah, it's going to be so much fun to see in person. But yeah, nice stretch of home. I think we got 6 home games in the next 7 to finish off the month of November. The only away game is that really small, weird. We go to Philly and then we come right back. So you got the Flyers and Penguins this week. Next week you got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday this week off, and then next week you got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off. But then you get the Oilers on the 22nd, Tampa the 24th, and then you get the Jackets the 26th, and you're on the road to play Philadelphia the 28th, and then you're back home to play the Islanders the 30th. So like I said, you got 6 of the next 7 games are all at home with 2 games in between Philly and Pittsburgh, then 3 days off, and then it's a game off. And then it's a game off. Like every other day, you got a game to finish off the month of November, but you got like 8 days off in a span of like 3 games.
Hey, after all the travel, I don't think the boys will be upset to be spending some extra time in Raleigh. I think
for
excited.
Sure. Well, yeah, when you look at the month of December with like 3 back-to-backs, and then January, it's not as bad because you're kind of getting like they're getting some few days off here and there. You do have a 2 back-to-backs in January where it's road and then home right after that. That's going to be very interesting. But then, February, it is what it is. And then
March is the absolute worst. I would prefer road and then home because then you at least get to sleep in your own bed.
Right. So there's one back-to-back in April, but that's a home and a home where you get Boston and then Washington back-to-back. But if you look at the month,
of course, make your division people the ones you do. Yeah, makes sense.
March though is going to be the absolute worst because you get the Jets on March 2nd, then you get 4 days off. 4, not 2, not 3, 4 days off. Then you get Montreal, then it's basically a game every other day with a back-to-back in the middle of that for the whole month of March. From the 9th until the 31st, it's a game every other day. There is no slowing down for the month of March. Mm-hmm. I like how it's so light for the first part of the year, and then once February, March hits, it's just a ton of games to finish off the year. It is definitely going to be insane. But honestly, right now where the Hurricanes are sitting at, it's good to see that the Statement game really does help. So it's good to see that they came back and did that, because especially you got today, Monday and Tuesday off before you play the Flyers, which, by the way, it's on TNT. So get ready for that.
You might actually be able to watch it. Also, speaking of statements, also want to mention that it's recently come out that Jacob and Kylie Slavin they have now launched, and you can go check it out on Twitter, on Instagram. They are doing working with Fight for Freedom, fight against human trafficking, supporting the International Justice Mission. Words. They are working to raise $1 million. But go watch the video. They talk more about it. But their goal is combating online exploitation of children in the Philippines through partnership with IJM. Together, they're turning goals into freedom, and they can't wait to do this journey with us. So again, our favorite player, he loves to support the community, go out and work on all these causes. He's been teasing this a little bit, and we love to see. Honestly, it's in his character. He sees someone in need. He's going to use what he can do to go and support it. I love that the Slavins are doing this.
It's
I fully support. Go check out their video and go see how you can help.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and they're matching $1 for every donation up to 500,000. So make sure you do that as well. But I think that's gonna do it for episode 100 of the podcast. It's a big thank you to Jordan Martinook for joining us. I hope everyone enjoyed that part of the show. Hope everyone just enjoyed the episode in general. Thank you to everyone who's given us support over the last now 100 episodes. It's crazy the journey.
Episode 200, here we come.
It's only going to be sometime in 2024, 25 possibly.
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see where we're at by then. But
we're excited. We're excited to have more new guests on, inviting some reoccurring guests back on to talk with us, because we love to have them talking hockey with us. Also, let us know that with THPN, we have a whole line of podcasts in our little podcast family that cover a bunch of other teams, and we'd love to sit and talk with them, either on their podcast or for them to come hang out with us. Let us know. Do you prefer to have a episode leading up to the game, seeing our thoughts on it, or a recap? I mean, that also would influence when we record, who we're talking with, at what time. We love to hear your feedback, because I have heard some feedback that people really love that when we had Chris leading up to the Senators game, that they were like, wow, they found that really informative and they appreciate it. So, and then we also, of course, had the Sabres guys on for a recap. Let us know which ones you prefer. We love to mix it up, and we love to have all types of guests, but we also love our feedback from our lovely fans that have stuck with us for this long and put up with all of our shenanigans, with Zach insulting Canes players, with Bailey.
Oh my gosh.
Supporting the Avs on our podcast. And yeah, thanks for sticking with us, guys.
Yeah, and Kat just bullying everybody, because why not?
Because why not?
You love hockey, you can take a hit.
Make sure you're in the right spot, huh?
Yeah, but please check out the network, hockeypodcastnetwork.com. Like Kat said, we've got all teams across the NHL having multiple podcasts, depending on what team it is. We got also original shows as well. Terry Ryan's got his own thing. We got a college hockey podcast. So And go check out the YouTube channel. A lot of cool stuff. I know Neil from Devil State of Mind does a Monday live show, just to recapping the week or doing the week that's coming up too. So make sure to check that out. But this has been a lot of fun going into episode 100. Like I said, Billy, you've been a guest, now been a host since season 1. Back into that, Kat, you've been a guest, now host since the middle of season 2. It's just great. So many great guests, so many great memories, just so much caused chaos on the I think the Hurricanes kind of did cause chaos after listening to us, because we definitely brought that up last.
We inspired it.
We inspired it for so many episodes, but no, honestly though, like I said, thank you to everyone who's just been supporting us. It's been a lot of fun. Just the interactions on Twitter, people have come on and talked to us, and just having so much fun, a lot of laughs, a lot of jokes.
The interactions, and knowing that this hits you guys, not just in North Carolina, but we have listeners everywhere. Knowing that the interactions are some of our favorite parts of this.
I saw someone say Twix on Twitter. I saw it and I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Calico Cats, for.
She said that she's been doing it anyway, but I fully take responsibility and I appreciate it. I appreciate your artwork as well. Yes. But this was even better. And the fact that I could tag Zach in it.
But knowing we're making those kinds of impacts, we're able to have those kinds of interactions with you guys, and we're making friends and we're helping others make friends is what makes this worth it for us. So thank you to everybody for helping make this worth it, for helping create an awesome environment of podcast listeners. And we hope to continue that support moving forward.
Yes, definitely 100%. Just the guest list is just
boggles my mind.
Yeah. Like I said, people have been, who work for the Canes, now a guy who plays for the Hurricanes, and then just everyone else around the community. It's been so great. Started with Brad Moore, like I said, from the Storm Cellar for episode 1. Episode 100 is Jordan Martinook. Let's see where we're at for 150 and 200. Curious to see, and of course everything in between as well. But like I said, we appreciate everyone just supporting us. But before we go and wrap up the magical 100th episode of the SurgeCast, Kat, where can people find you on the socials?
You can find me at Caniac Chick on Twix, and then you can find me at KVT Hunter 74 on TikTok. Bailey, where can people find you?
You can find me over on X at Bailey Curtis, and that is Bailey with 2 Y's. If you're wanting to follow me over for some more personal content, be sure to give me a follow over on Instagram at Bailey Lynn Curtis. I have some really cool news that I can't announce quite yet, but be on the lookout here within the next 2-ish weeks. So I can announce that here. You'll hear it probably over on X first, but be on the lookout for that. I'm really excited to kind of announce that. But yeah, that's all for my stuff. If you want to follow the podcast, before shouting out the rest of the socials, I cover things over on the YouTube side. You're probably seeing this on Sunday, so if you're seeing this, hi, hello, how you doing? I'm finally getting this uploaded before I finish uploading everything else, just so you guys can see the magic that was our special guest today. Be sure to leave a comment down below. Let us know what you guys thought of the Summer of Marty, what you guys have thought about our weekend homestand, or our weekend back-to-back, not homestand. We have a homestand coming up. Let us know your thoughts on that coming up as well, what you got in store for the team thought-wise. Be sure to hit that big red subscribe button down below. Hit that bell notification icon so you never miss an episode. To follow the rest of the SurgeCast on our socials, be sure to follow us over on X and Instagram. It's just at the SurgeCast. There's link trees in our bios where you can find where to follow us, where to watch episodes, where to listen to episodes, all that good stuff. Zach, where can people find you?
Yes, so you can find me on X at One True Zach. That's only True Zach is actually spelled out. It's not number 1 itself. Instagram side of things, Zach R. Martin 22, more of the personal hobby stuff type thing. If you want to go check that out as well. If you want to follow my writings, I cover the Carolina Hurricanes for the Hockey Writers. I do have a link in my bio, but that will change because I might have to do a link tree for myself personally because I'm going to be on another website. Then I need to, put some cool stuff out as well. A little plug. I am with the AHL News Now, going back to covering the Charlotte Checkers like I did with Phil Pass Hockey. So really excited to be working with Deanna once again, Deanna Weinheimer. She used to be with FPH, and now she's doing her own thing. And me, Andrew Rinaldi, Sam Wismer were all there. There might be someone else joining us too, but maybe. I guess you're going to have to wait and figure that out. But yeah, super excited to being back working with her again. And of course, going back up to Charlotte to cover some Checkers games. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe I'll have to find a way to talk to Skylar Brindamore. Why not? I think that'd be kind of cool. But yep. So go check that out when the articles start dropping here soon on that side of things. But yeah, a lot of cool things, really exciting things going on that side of stuff. And yeah, so, but thank you. Like I said, thank you to everyone listening to this episode. Once again, thank you to Jordan Martinook for joining us for this awesome 100th episode of the podcast. But until later this week, actually, because we're going to do another episode, a crossover with another great podcast over on the Hockey Podcast Network. Well, I guess you're going to have to wait and see who that's going to be. But until then, for episode 101 or season 3, episode 22 of the SurgeCast, I'm Zach.
I'm Bailey.
I'm Kat.
And we'll see you here next time at the SurgeCast.
For the next 100 episodes. Woo-hoo.